welcome to Find You Fridays. It's me, Lorene Hughes. How are you? Alrighty, let us get busy with these little background things that we need to do. Alrighty, let's open that up. Pin that so that you guys can see it with ease and find it, and it'll be beautiful. Alrighty. Yahoo! So good to see you. Well, sort of see you. I can sort of see you. Say hello in the chat. Lovely to. Hi, Juanita. Hi, darling. So good to see you on the podcast today. Oh dear. I need to chuck my ear thingy away. Well, not literally. Just get it off of my ear hole. There we go. Beautifuls. How have we all been? How have we all been? Has this week treated you kindly? Or has it shown you a few moments of challenging you and reminding you to be calm and just smile and nod. Smile and nod. I know I've had a couple of those moments this week, and it's been an interesting one. But things like my Fridays, especially when I get to do rocking sessions like I did today, like it just makes everything else worth it. Because, this side of me is where I find the most joy. And I have a lot of joy in my job as well, but certainly coming here and being with you guys on Fridays and getting to do these sessions and like online or in-person sessions, it's like that's what just makes me go, fuck yes, I know I'm doing life right today. And it's like, and it fills me with so much joy and gratitude, and just chef's kiss of a day. And I just feel so much more generous, and like my cup is full, whereas during the week when I'm doing my normal job, some days that's pretty freaking challenging because I'm working with people who are not you guys. People who are normies. Like even today, oh my god, I have to tell you this. So the Puritap guy came through to replace the filters on Alex's Puritap. I have the Kangen machine and he uses Kangen water all the time, but he's very attached to his Puritap and he wishes to keep that up to speed, so that's fine. Not going to make him wrong for that. Anyway, the guy came in, did the filters, and then he said, do you want me to change the tap? And I'm just like, let me have a look at it first. And so I had a look and I was like, actually, and I used my awareness. I asked, what will it create if we change the taps? Truth, what will it create if I don't? And it was much more of a yes on the changing it rather than the not. And so now the Puritap tap matches our sink taps, which is the handles, which is great. It looks better. The spout no longer sort of almost connects with the handles of the taps. So that's a win. And as we went to do the payment, his FPOS machine just stopped halfway through printing the second receipt. And, and I just stood there and went, Mercury retrograde strikes again. And he just had no idea what the fuck I was talking about. He goes, this did this to me yesterday too. And I'm like, yeah, because we're in Mercury retrograde right now. We had a 12-12 portal yesterday. We're in a new moon energy. Yeah, all of the things. Oh yeah, and it's Friday the 13th today. And he's just like, I think I need to contact NAB and find out what's going on with my machine. And I'm just like, yeah. So, yeah, the normies are funny little creatures when you come across them, and I come across them a lot during my work, and it is so funny. It's so funny. And I mean, I can think back to when I was probably in my 20s, early 20s, and I would have had a similar reaction. Oh, yeah, no, you got to find the logical, reasonable reason as to why something electronic's not working properly. Hi, Melinda. You're not late. You're okay. That's fine. We've only been here 6 minutes. This is why I start at 8:05. And it's because people will look at the phone, look at the time and go, oh, it's 8ish. And then they'll be finishing off whatever they're doing, myself included. And then they'll be like, oh, cool, now I'm ready to get onto the podcast with Lorene. That's why I don't start till 8:05. Because I noticed that I would be spending like 5 minutes talking to nothing, to no one. And whereas if I said at 8:05, people have sort of kind of gotten themselves organized to join me, have me playing on in the background or whatever. So that's why. Now there's method to my madness. All right. So happy Friday the 13th to you all. We have a lovely show ahead. But before I go too much further, I'm going to show you what arrived in the post today because I'm so excited about it. It's a calendar. Now, I've been hunting around for a good calendar for the last couple of months, and I just went, do you know what? With all these Black Friday things and blah, 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 blah. It's like, maybe I could just buy myself a really nice calendar this year rather than the, $5 ones or whatever. Because I like to have a calendar to note down when my snake eats. And then I can just look at it on the calendar. It's like, oh, cool. It's been, however many days since she ate. Because for those of you who are not aware, you may not be aware actually, I own or have the privilege of being the keeper of a Stimson pygmy python. And she is about 8 years old, I think now, and something like that. And it always surprises me because I still think she's 4, but I think she's been 4 for like a couple of years. So, yeah. And when I start thinking about it, I was like, hang on a minute. No, we've had this year and then that year, and then there's been another year in there. And so, yeah, I think she's actually about 8 now, or coming up to being 8 next year. So she is, being that she is part Stimson, she's never going to be bigger than 1.2 meters. And that she has the pygmy in there as well. So she's crossed with the pygmy python. And they only get up to about 800 millimeters long. So she is sitting around about a meter. So the pygmy has dropped her size just a touch, but she's also not as thick as a regular Stimson, a purebred Stimson would be. A purebred Stimson would be twice as thick as what she is. So that's where the pygmy has really kicked in. She is about the thickness of a working man's thumb. So if you can kind of picture that, probably about 2 of my fingers, at most. But yeah, she's more like the size of, just think of a really rough, rugged working man's thumb. She's about that. And she only eats 6 months of the year. The other 6 months she's asleep. And it's great. She's lovely. And her name's Triptych because on her forehead, she has a flower pattern. It kind of goes like this, and then like this, and then like that. And if you know art, a triptych is 3 panels of artwork that come together to form one picture. And as soon as I saw her little head stamp, I went, your name is Triptych. And so I called her Trippy for short. And so, yeah, I note down on my calendar when she ate because I like being able to have the full visual. Anywho, so calendars. So I love stationery. It's one of my like pleasures, but also I know I can go a bit nuts when I go to places like Officeworks. So moving up here into Mount Barker has actually been quite the gift because we don't have an Officeworks. However, next year we will. They are currently building it. And I'm like, oh no. But at the same time, woohoo! It's like me and Bunnings. Me and Bunnings I have a love-hate relationship too. I love going in there. I love getting tools. I love buying bits and pieces in there. But it's also hard on my pocket. Dun, dun, dun. Exactly, Louis. Juanita. Exactly. Anyway, back to the calendar. So the calendar I got was called Dragon Witches. And to give you a little bit of a insight into dragon witches, it comes with this little blurby thing. It says dragon witches are immortal beings that roam the world trying to experience the human realm in all of its glory. They work in concert with dragons perched on their shoulders. The dragon is controlling intellect, and the witch's body is the vessel for communicating to the outside world. The witch can be good, evil, neutral, but all of the dragon witches depicted here are beautiful and captivating. So this calendar captures a world of mystery, intrigue, and will imbue your year with magic. And I'm like, yes, please. Give me some more of that. I've also got another diary coming, which has got, and I'll show you that when it comes. So this is the front, and I'm just like, wow, isn't that just so epic? Then let me know what month your birthday is. So this is the first page, and it's actually got September through to December for this year, 2024, and this is the image. Whee, if I can get it. There we go. So she's resting on a horse or a unicorn. No. What's the one? What's the Pegasus? She's resting on a Pegasus. And that one is called Still Waters. And then we've got January. And that is the Winter Angel and Dragon. So that's pretty cool, hey? There's just so much detail. I absolutely love it. And on this calendar, it shows the moon cycles. It says, like, this one has the Lunar New Year on it for January. It shows the American, the Canadian, the UK, I think, Australian and New Zealand public holidays. So that's a win in my books as well. We've got February. Whoa. Let me get the lights out of the way. There we go. That makes it a little bit better, maybe. Can we actually get this right today, Lorene? No. There we go. There's a February. And then, hi, Alex. I'm just showing you my brand new calendar. Here we have March, the beautiful peacock. Peacocks. And there's her dragon sitting up on top of the urn or the whatever that is. It looks like an urn to me. We have my birthday month, which doesn't surprise me that it is in red. Loads and loads of red and bubbles and crystals. And like, this is just truly, it is me through and through. I'm just like, yes, they couldn't have done that any better. I love my reds. And it's so funny. I was at craft class breakup like Christmas do last night, and I was wearing a dress that I've never worn before, and it has this gorgeous pattern of red roses and greenery and stuff down it. And one of the ladies gave me a little gift, and it was a little notebook that had red roses on it, and it literally matched my dress perfectly. And I was like, oh, this is just too cool. We have May. May is, I cannot say that name. But she looks pretty funky cool. And so this is what I'm going to be looking at for the year. There's June. And like they all have their little names down here, which is really neat. I wish they had more information about them, to be fair. I would love that. Lady Melody, I can say that. Oh, Lost Melody, I should say. Lost Melody, that is July. So yeah. Excellent calendar. And I'm just so excited about it. Just too excited. I know one of my first cousins once removed would absolutely be in love with this one. Hi, Catherine. So that's the October. She would just be adoring that so much. So yeah, maybe I need to get to and read those books that it is based on. So there we go. That was something fun that arrived in the post today. All right. Back to why you're really here. You're not really here to see me talking about a calendar. But there we go. On my crafting cup, I have, what is it? Bengal spice tea. I love my Bengal spice tea. And my body was like, yes, please, I'd like that for today. Thank you very much. That's still so true. So true, Juanita. Dum, dum, dum. Bloody office works. Love it. Love it. It's going to be interesting to see how it affects some of the other businesses up here, though. And I'm looking forward to having a greater array of like card and for my card making and stuff, because Spotlight is shocking. I had a lot of trouble finding red and green card stock for my Christmas cards this year, which was just, I was just like, this is not okay. Seriously, how can we not have red and green? It's Christmas. Order double, order triple for this time of year. And this was like early November. Stupid. Alex likes the February one. Only. Oh, I didn't show you the rest of it. That's okay. I don't know if you can, maybe you guys can see the back. So I'll just show it to you. I think they're just really cool. Just to bring quite a different energy into like in more of that sort of magical energy. And what I really get from that calendar, it's the awareness that as potent magical beings, we are actually a little bit of all of that. And it's only when we try to deny or negate those more potent parts of ourselves, those parts, like the parts that is just like that, when we try to pretend that that's not a part of us, that's when we get out of balance. And that's when we get things like a lot of throat chakra stuff coming through, because we're not actually allowing ourselves to be heard. We are suppressing the part of us. We can get a lot of issues with our reproductive organs. We can get a lot of issues with our stomachs if we are not really allowing all the parts and pieces of us to be acknowledged. And the interesting thing that I noticed in my spiritual journey was shown to me actually with my my spirit daughter. I'm going to put it that way. So she tried to embody with me twice. Thank you, Nicole. So before I really acknowledged her and welcomed her into my spirit team, she was bold and brash, and she was forceful, and she was just like, I will be a part of your life whether you like it or not, kind of thing. She was just so full on, her energy. And like, even in the circumstances that she tried to embody twice, it was not a good fit. So that's why it didn't follow through, right? So once I actually realized, hey, would you like to just be a part of my spirit team rather than, so you can be with me every single day if you wish. It's up to you when you come and go. But you're welcome to be with me. You don't have to embody through me to be with me. And as soon as we had that conversation, her energy completely calmed down. Is she still that person who could be bold and brash and forceful and kick my ass and all of that? Absolutely. But she has, because I've acknowledged her in all that she can be, and I've welcomed her into my spirit team, she now just bounces around and has fun and brings through that real wonderful childlike wonder of seeing life through those sorts of filters, if you like. And she's a powerful, potent healer on her own, and it's incredible to watch her work. I've seen her, like her and I won't go into that too much. I have seen her work on someone else alongside of me, and just the shifts and changes she creates is incredible, absolutely incredible. Right. Interesting. Juanita, how am I aware of my spirit team? Ooh, don't even look at that. I was about to delete that because that requires to be not welcome here. I first became, I started really gently with my spirit team actually, and it started back, oh gosh, I was about 28, 29, and I was flatting with this lady, this lass, roughly the same age as me at the time, and we'd both had quite rough relationship endings and things. That's why we ended up living together for a bit. And it was actually our mutual friend that put us in contact with each other. And it was a mixture of the three of us knowing each other and our mutual friend being a little bit more spiritually advanced at that time than I was, that helped me to open up. And my first spirit team person that I became aware of at that time was she would wear all white, and she was Asian, and her name was Angel. And she said, I'm not an angel, but I like to be called Angel. And over time, we just developed a bit more of a relationship, and I would be in like a meditation type thing, or I'd be in the shower, or I would just be cooking or something, and I'd see her walk past, and it would be, I'd see this white figure walking past, and I'm just like, and once I realized what was happening, because our mutual friend, our more spiritually aware mutual friend goes, you know that's like you're one of your guides and stuff, right? And I'm like, she is? It was like, yeah, absolutely. And I'm like, oh, wow, that's really cool. And so we just started to develop that relationship. Angel, she then was sort of opening the gateway for me to welcome in other members of my team. And they shift and change about. Sometimes it's direct family members. So of my 4 grandparents, 3 of them are in spirit form. And my granddad on my dad's side, I never got to meet physically because he passed away 6 months before I was born. But he actually came through at one of my very first psychic readings that I was receiving. And he had some very valuable information for me at that time. And the guy described him absolutely perfectly. And I had to go away and check photos of him to know that that was the right person. And yeah, so he steps in not as regularly these days, but I get the sense, you know. And just as you practice opening up to being more aware of them, they communicate more. And as your senses develop, then they will be able to use more different pathways. So it might be just visual to start off with, or it might be just a feeling that you kind of get, like a warm hug for it feeling, or even that, like, you know, the goosey up the neck thing, which is in the old times, you know, so, oh, somebody's just walked over my grave. No, it's more likely to be your spirit team that has actually just stepped in and just kind of got their hand on your back to go, hey, I'm here for you. So yeah, in like over time I've developed, and the more I've interacted with the spirit world, I've developed my hearing, I've developed my sight, I've developed that level of communication. And it takes time. It truly just takes time, but you've got to be open to it in, you know, in the first place. It can feel a little scary for some people because it's like you can't put your hands on it. And if you're somebody who's quite scientific in your way of your thinking, it's difficult to comprehend that there's this whole other realm of beings that are around you to support you every single day, that you're never actually truly alone. And I think that was one of the things that really opened me up to being able to comprehend that I even have a spirit team, because I had come through that very deep, dark breaking point of feeling like I was absolutely so alone and I could not ever do, like, I just couldn't do life anymore. And it was my members of my team that stopped me from making a permanent decision to a temporary problem. And I've done that many times over. So they've done that, I'd say 3 times. I've had those moments where I felt like I just can't do this anymore. I can't do this life anymore. I'm really done. And they've stepped in different ways. And I love that they had done that even before I became really super aware of it. Like when I was, the first time would have been, how old would I have been? 19. 19 would have been the first one. And there's a story actually in my blog on my website, craftingpossibilities.com. If you have a look over in the blogs, there is one there. I think I actually called it My Suicide. And that's that will tell you a lot about how, and if you see it from that perspective of how the spirit team stepped in, even though I don't know that at the time of writing it, I really understood that. I was just like, the universe, it's like maybe a little bit closer to home than that. So when it's not your time to go, it's not your time to go. and your team will step in and they will prevent you from doing dumb things to yourself. And it's a good thing. It's a good thing that we've got these beings looking out for us, whether it be family members. There's been, I'm just reminded of an absolutely incredible session I had with a friend of mine, and she was doing auric healing at the time. She was learning that, and she was sort of wanting a few guinea pigs, and I'm like, yeah, hi, happy to be your case study. And during that session, my female ancestors came forward. So it was like my grandmother on my dad's side, who was very, very quiet as in her embodied space, strong, tenacious, talented as heck on the piano, keen gardener. I was so fortunate that I got to spend some time with her in my younger years. And I hear you and I feel you, Juanita. I feel you. And so she was there, and then my great grandmother on my mum's side, she was there, and again, and I only really cognitively knew her when she was a good 10 years into dementia. So prior to that, I didn't really know her, but she was there. I recognized her. And there was a few others too, which were sort of that next level back. And I could really perceive them, and they were there, and they were potent, and they were bringing the healings through. And that was when I really started to comprehend that my gifts have come down through the generations in some respects, because I'm an interesting mixture of obviously English, and then I've got Irish, Scottish, Welsh, little bit of Italian, and a bit of Dutch in there. And the Scottish and the Irish, man, oh man, that lovely little combination in me, because it's come down from the different sides, has given me access to so many gifts. And I feel so privileged to be uncovering more and more of them as I grow stronger. And that moment, it's still, even now, it's just like, whew. It was interesting, because even though there were other beings that stepped into my space, the women who were there to help with my healing and my progression, my energetic progression, any of them who noticed that there was somebody else in there that was not helpful, that was there to judge or whatever, they just sort of like looked at them, and the people just disappeared. Like, it was so interesting to become aware of. And so I'm very much a visual learner. I'm also a kinesthetic learner. So for me, visualizing and feeling is how I end up being a healer as well. So how cool is that? Like, how you learn is often how you heal. And yeah, so to answer your question, Juanita, what level do I think you are? I'm not sure. What do you believe? What do you feel? There are so many ways we can feel our spirit team, often in meditation. This is a conversation that my team has been trying to have with me for a good 6 to 12 months. Oh yeah, I burn, I peel. I burn, I go red, I peel. I go back to white. I have good English skin. But yeah, beyond that, the energetics of those two countries. And the funny thing is that if and when I go to travel after Canada, Canada is still on my next hit list. Scotland and Ireland are absolutely where I wish to go. And the cool thing is, in Ireland, I actually have an auntie over there, who is my mum's sister. So that would be really cool, just to have sort of some little bit of contact point there. But I get the feeling that I get the feeling I would love to have another session with you, Anita. That would be beautiful. I get the feeling that before I do either of those two countries, though, I would like to do some more research around like my ancestry, around where they actually physically lived, so that then I can go and kind of like retrace their steps. And you know that whole thing of like, who do you think you are? I think is what that TV show was, where they trace their ancestry and they get to walk the same streets that their ancestors did and go to the same places that buildings they lived in or shops that they owned or whatever. I feel like that's something, and that's why it's not massive in my world just yet. It's there, it's brewing. There's something else that is brewing, and I'm like, okay. So this conversation, Juanita, about where you're at and things like that, that's going to require some interesting different conversations, and with me and my business. So yes. Juanita's like, not Juanita, Melinda's like, wow. I know, I've got some really potent family members. And the other thing that is interesting is, like, you guys, many of you will know that I had a very deep connection with my granddad. And my granddad is my mum's dad. And him and I were like two little peas in a pod, but there was a lot of healing that I did for him without knowing, but just by existing. I created a hell of a lot of healing and healed his heart in a lot of ways. And when I was in my late 20s, and he was starting to get a little bit of dementia, and we were living like 3.5 hours drive away from each other, and he'd forget how to contact me on the phone or anything like that. Even though my number was written down, he could find it, but that's where he was at with his mind. Hi, Amanda. And he would be sitting there and he would be thinking, and he'd be thinking of me, and he'd be thinking of me. And then all of a sudden I'd start feeling really sick in the stomach. And I'm just like, oh God, I feel yuck. And then this was around the time when all my things were starting to really develop. And this one particular day I went to a law of attraction gathering, and we were watching The Secret, so the movie The Secret, and because it had just been released, so that gives you an idea of how long ago that was. And I'd gone with my friend. I wasn't going to go because I wasn't feeling 100%, but I was just like, nah, I think I'll go. I don't want to let her down, and it might be nice to meet some people that are kind of along that lines of thinking. And as we walked back to the car, there was a cat that looked exactly the same as my granddad's cat at the rear of my car. And it just sat there and it looked at me. And I'm like, okay, so what's this about? And we just watched The Secret, where they talk about signs and all this sort of stuff. And I commented to my friend, hey, that looks just like my granddad's cat. And the cat, as I said it, the cat goes, meow. And I went, and I looked at my friend and said, what do you think that means? And she goes, maybe it's a sign that your granddad wants to talk to you. And I went, And the cat went, meow. And then it went, meow. And off it went. Just disappeared into the bushes. And I'm like, huh, that's interesting. And so the next day I gave him a call and he goes, I've been thinking about you for the last few days. Thank you for giving me a call because I couldn't figure out how to call you and I really wanted to talk to you. And this is a man who doesn't like talking on the phone at all. He was somebody who was an in-person type of person. But he was so relieved to hear from me. And as soon as I called him, my stomach upset disappeared. So your body is giving you signs and signals all the time. And it's just, you have to be open to different possibilities of what it can mean. You have to become like the translator of your body, and that takes practice. And it's about being open to, like, what if it isn't that I've eaten something wonky the day before? What if it is I'm stressed and worried about something? What if it is that somebody's thinking about me really, 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 really hard? And it wasn't the first time that he did that. He did that several times. And on the last time I said to him, Granddad, like, I get it that you want to talk to me. And I love that you want to talk to me. Can you not do it quite so hard when you think of me? Because I'd really like to not feel sick in the guts. And he just laughed, because he knew exactly what I was talking about. And we never really talked woo-woo, but he didn't diss it either. He was brought up in that generation where the magic is possible, but we don't talk about it. So I feel very privileged to have had him in my physical world as well as my spiritual world. He steps in from time to time. He was a big support when my second marriage ended, like in the energetic world. So yeah. Nicole says I've been getting signs, I think, of birds and other stuff. Ooh, that's pretty cool. Look up what birds are, like the colors of the bird or the bird themselves, and you'll often get a lot of signals, like not signals, messages that way. Now, our team, they get really fucking creative, especially when we are not open yet or are just at those beginning stages of being open. So one of the things that my granddad did a lot when he'd first passed over is he sent feathers everywhere. He sent feathers to me. He sent feathers to my soul sister and my niece, which would have been his great grandchild. And he just feathers in the most strange, weird places or multiples of them. And it was like, you could just tell there was something really special about these. And I still have a few of them floating around, and every now and then I see one of them. Oh, hello, Granddad. Hi. If it's not that, he'll do smells is another one that he'll do. Like if I all of a sudden get a smell of either linseed or CRC, which is like a different form of WD-40, that's another sign that, yep, Granddad's around. He also gifts me with money from time to time, which is really neat. I don't tend to get, and he will hug me as well around my ribs. He will give me a big hug, which is like, especially if I'm feeling really vulnerable or like in just a really tender, vulnerable is not really the right word, but a tender space. Amanda says, my Nana sends me balloons at random perfect times. That's pretty cool. Nicole's been getting feathers a lot by the sounds of it. So it's looking out for those signs and signals. They'll also come and visit you in that lovely little twilight spot between closing your eyes and shutting your brain down slightly before you hit proper sleep. There's that lovely little gap in the middle there where they can and will pop in there. And that's another little lovely space that you can start connecting with your spirit team on a more conscious basis. And it's interesting. It's interesting to see what happens. You can get it through when you do hypnotherapy. You can get it when you there are often times when I'm doing healing sessions using the theta healing space that I'll get people's spirit teams step through. Obviously, when I'm doing these readings, I get your teams come through all the time. And you just, it's fun. It's fun. And the more you practice, the easier it gets. Even if it feels like it's really dumb, it's like, okay, spirit team, can you help me find my next most perfect job? And show it to me bright and loud and make sure it pops into my face. Hi, Tony. How's Hamilton treating you today? You can, like, your team is there to help. They love helping you. So it's a good thing to ask, you know, and it's a lot more tangible than, in my personal opinion, than just praying to God. Not to say that that's not valuable, because it really, truly is. I find your spirit team are just more like the workhorses of your life. They will get out there and they will do the thing. So yeah. All right. Enough yabbering. Let us get into our weekly reading. Let's see who wants to come play for the weekly reading today. Hello. Wakey, rise and shine, people. Thank you. So Nicole says, I've also getting in my mind too and seeing things come up with numbers. Yes, numbers. Oh my God. I had the most beautiful one the other day. It was like I was pumping petrol and I was on pump number 7 and it came out as $70.70. And I was just like, oh, hello. And I wasn't trying for it either. It was just like, I just pumped until it was full. And it was like, oh, that's so good. All right. So obviously we have a lovely new moon happening on Sunday. Yay. So we're in shadow period for the new moon. Sorry, full moon. Full moon on Sunday. That also explains why this poor man's FPOS machine was not working properly today. A full moon, Friday the 13th, Mercury retrograde, Jeepers Creepers. He was never going to win. So Friday the 13th, which is today, 14th, because today's pretty much done. So how can we best work with these energies of the full moon and the retrogrades and any other funny little planetary things that we've got happening right now from the 14th through to the 20th of December? Now, of course, remembering next Friday I won't be here. I'll be here on Saturday instead. All right. So mark that in your calendars. Find your Fridays for next week is going to be on Saturday, same bat time, same bat place. And then there'll be bonus content on Sunday and Monday and Tuesday. Pre-recorded stuff for you. All right. Leading into Christmas. So that will be released probably around the same time each of those days for you. All right. So for the collective, for the 14th through to the 20th, Nicole, you have 7 people in your live now and here. Yeah, I do. That's so cool. Melinda says, I get synchronistic numbers all the time. Yep, I love it. I got 555 the other day. I was just like, hello. Hello. Change is afoot. Okay, cool. We haven't played with these cards for quite a while, so it's interesting that it's popping up here because these are the wordy cards. You actually can't get these cards anymore. They do not exist. I have managed to find a replica, but it's not these cards. These cards I picked up, they're called the Divine Guidance cards, so they're these ones. And I picked them up. They were one of my first 3 decks that I picked up back in the day. I picked up, which one did I do? I had Doreen Virtue's Angel Card Reading cards. And I think I did the Angel Therapy ones, another Doreen Virtue. That was like, these were my first 2. And then this set was my next one. It's interesting how you remember that stuff, eh? But anyway, these are the wordy cards. So there's not much for you guys to see. So I'll just bring them up. So let's have a look. These cards are really interesting, though, because there's the message on the card. And then it has, like this one here, you have the capital words. And what often happens is the team will pick the message that runs across the cards and it will match up with this. It's the weirdest thing ever. It's kind of like how my poetry book is an intuitive poetry book. That's weird too. Not denying that. So let's have a look and see what we've got for this week coming. First card, not surprising given that we are working with full moon energy. Change is everywhere. Life may seem disrupted. Move with the change and allow yourself to be open to whatever growth this change may bring. So we've got growth happening for this week. Reconciliation of an existing relationship or the beginning of a new relationship is now possible. Take the chance. Interesting. The next one is you may be feeling restless. Notice this feeling and take it seriously, for behind it lies a glimpse of what is possible. You're going to be blown away by this message, by the way. You are standing at the beginning of a great journey into love. Be ready. And the last card is you have been blessed with an opportunity to renew love. Nurture it so it may blossom in you. Do you know what? What a beautiful reading for the week to come. That's just on the surface. It's like there's a lot of change happening within us. But I see through this initial part of the reading that there's a lot of love coming in. There's a lot of moments where we are going to be asked to do a lot of forgiveness, I feel. And within that, there's going to be forgiveness of self, mostly. So think Ho'oponopono. Might be some time to bring that up, particularly around this new moon. So this full moon, the full moon is really going to help you to release some of that old baggage if you wish to work with it, and just let it go. Let go of the old stuff. Let go of the pain and the trauma and the resentment and the grief. It's time to let it go. And so this next 2-3 days, maybe even 4 days, if we count today, beautiful way for us to do that. Now, what's the message going across for us all? Growth, take the chance, what is possible, be ready, and you are blessed. So there is some really exciting stuff coming along. But, with growth, there comes sometimes a little bit of like rough, crunchy moments. So just be aware that those rough, crunchy moments might be sort of happening around the start of the week. But you're going to receive a great opportunity to do something different. And that might be something at work. It might be an opportunity. That might be a relationship thing, like an intimate relationship thing. Maybe it's reconnecting with your darling one that is, maybe things have been a bit crunchy for the last few weeks. Maybe something is just going to go click. So, yeah, beautiful, 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 beautiful. Tony says, I'm journaling tomorrow. Perfect. Yes, yes. Amanda says, hell yeah. I completely agree. Nicole says, I have been working on it and feeling all the better for it. Fantastic. So let's have a look at our card as our overall theme. Let's see what the collective is going to choose for that one. Amanda says, I feel for me it'll be connecting with myself. Yeah. Frequency. Yes. Becoming very aware of the frequency that you're putting out into the world. Because if your frequency is anger, sadness, rage, disappointment, all those sorts of things, that's exactly what you're going to receive back. And it's not to deny those things, those elements, as I was saying before. It's really important to acknowledge and be an allowance of all the different aspects of yourself, but at the same time, don't be a splatter bomb with your words. Speak kindness, speak love. I know it's tricky sometimes being able to do that in those more challenging situations, and that's where I would say expand out. Use our expanding out tool before you have to step into those more tricky situations. And what might happen is that you'll find those easy words, those more empowering words, those moments where you can go and express yourself in a way that is really easy for the other person to receive. There was a moment that popped up 2 weeks ago, or last week. Was it last week? It was, where I was the third party to this interaction where one person was saying one thing, but what they said and what this other person heard and received were two very different stories. And I sort of got both of their versions given to me, and I'm like, okay. All right. Well, let's just have a little bit of a, and all it needed really was for each of them to slow down and listen to each other. And it was like, the problem was neither of them were actually really listening to each other. And I was just like, okay, cool. So that's what I gave them. I gave them the space to listen. I gave them the space to talk, rather, and I listened. And then I gave them a little bit of, each of them a little bit of like a, okay, well, you know. So, yeah. So you were thinking about that the other day. Yeah, what people say and what people hear can be quite different. Quite different. So I'm actually going to take a photo of that one because I feel like that might be a good one to keep a reminder of over the week for me. I'm back training another beautiful soul this week. So I think that that's going to be exciting, and, you know, meeting somebody new, working with somebody new, that's going to be always good. All right. So you guys are rolling the donations in, which is so exciting. I love it. Alex, if you could please pop your question into the chat now. Amanda says, I was a little frustrated with my partner today as I felt nervous when driving through very windy roads with the caravan. And before I said anything about driving more careful, I took a moment and I asked myself, why am I nervous? And then I realized it was me. I was nervous because I wasn't in control. So I said nothing, took a deep breath, and told myself I am safe. Beautiful. I am so fucking proud of you for that. It is really interesting when we step out of those realms of being in total control of our lives. It's scary. And when I've had a few of those moments in my life where I'm just sort of like, just breathe, just let them do it, and trust them that they are going to keep me safe, that they are working on my best interest and their own. And in this case, absolutely, there's no way your partner would have wanted to crash the caravan. So it's not necessarily about denying that conversation. It's about, I love the fact you stopped and you like asked yourself that question of, why am I nervous? What is going on here? What's sitting underneath this? That's so, so cool. Catherine says, an exciting week ahead. Looking forward to it. Me too. I am really looking forward to this week and seeing just how we can all grow, shift, change, develop. All right, Alex. Oh, that's a big question. Some kind of retrograde this round. Weirdly, my mirror near my front door just fell down. There is no wind. It's not broken. Thank God. May I know what's in for Jean-Pierre and I this week, please? I've been seeing so many 294, 112, 211, JPV, all his, and sync numbers, and numbers 1129. A whole lot of these past 2 weeks. I feel him coming closer, although I know he's back in South Africa. Interesting. Okay. Let us have a look. Get around the right way. Thank you. We need some maintenance on my tarot card. And I also get that there might be a couple of other cards wanting to come out. So let me just do this as best as I can in this tight little space. So Alex, I'm just gonna how can I do that? That's a lot. Okay, hang on. Okay. Right, I'm just gonna put that up there. That will let people know who I'm reading for. I don't know if you're aware of the song Reckless by Ozzy Crawl, but that's what's popping into my head while I'm doing the shuffling for you, Alex. So I would highly recommend you go and hunt that song up after this. And oh gosh. And really have a look at those lyrics, because there's something in there for you that's also going to help you with this. The other message that I'm getting without looking at these cards yet is this relationship is forcing you to do some healing. And it's healing. It's forcing you to look at the places and spaces within you that require to be healed while you're not actually in relationship with him. It's bringing up a lot of stuff to the fore, up to the front with you. And it's okay. Oh, Juanita. That's okay, honey. I will save it till next Saturday if you like. That's absolutely fine. That's very kind of you, but no, I'll hold on to it. So next time you're on, I'll give you your question first up. Okay? So I appreciate that. I know there's a lot going on right now. So yeah. Amanda knows the song. So yeah, just while you are in this space of being single, this is a really beautiful healing time for you. And I'm being sort of told, like, make the best use of this time and focus on you. This is why the healing stuff is coming up. So you've said, I've had more triggers in the past 2 weeks and I'm trying to understand and work through it. It's about understanding, but it's also about understanding it. If you talk about it being understanding, you're actually underneath the problem and you're not ever going to break through. If you look at it from an understanding place, it's like, say our conversation that we were having before about choosing a permanent solution to a temporary problem. Juanita and I understand that space with each other because we've both been there. When you have that deep comprehension and conscious comprehension of what your activations are about, and often it is going back to childhood stuff, I would, if you haven't looked at it yet, I would definitely get the book Attached and find out about your attachment styles, okay? And do the quiz that's in the book. Find out what your ratios are between secure, anxious, and avoidant. And really look deeply as to why you choose the people you do. And the situations that you do and the things that crop up in your world. Like, that book will give you so many awarenesses. And I love it because it's not woo-woo, but it's so applicable to what we talk about as energy as well. So Attached, so let me know if I've already spoken about that with you. So let's have a look at these cards. So the question that I asked was for what do you require to know about your relationship with Jean-Pierre? All right. So we've got a few reversed cards here. She said, "Night, Tony. I hope you have a great weekend too." Alex said, "Yes, it went back to my schoolmates. Weirdly, and this just came when I was driving back from work meetings and I saw that word attachment." Yeah, attached. 2 seconds. This is the book that you'll be looking for. Oh, a little bit of it. So, okay. So if you get that book, that's going to give you so many awarenesses. Melinda, if you're still floating around, do you want to give some feedback on that book? Because I know that we've done that one. All right. So first of all, we have the Ten of Swords, and it is reversed. So this is an interesting card to come up for this particular reading, because I've got it's a 5-card reading. And what I get for this is that you feel incredibly hurt. You feel really hurt by this guy. You feel betrayed. You feel like you've been literally stabbed in the back, and that the darkness is really underpinning how you're feeling about life, or have been feeling about life. It's like the more, thank you, Melinda, the more that you are trying to pull yourself towards this relationship, the more that you're impaling yourself on the swords. So this is what I mean. Each one of these swords is a point of healing for you. And as you continue to do that inner work while you're single, every single one of those activations or triggers, if you'd like to call them that, triggers keep you stuck. If you talk about them as activations, it's activating you, it's moving you forward. Okay. So each one of these is a point of healing. If you allow yourself to heal, if you allow yourself to really dive down deep, you're not going to be activated by this anymore. And nobody that you will be with in the future will be able to hurt you the same. Okay, so that's the first one. The second one, which is also reversed, is the Hierophant. And my initial awareness around this one is that you are seeing him currently as your savior. And he's not. He is the opposite of your savior. He is the one that is... Sorry. Sometimes the teens show me some really funny things. And in this case, what they're showing me is the Hierophant's outfit, his cloak falling down and over his head. And he's not wearing anything under his bottom, under his bottom half. So he's completely naked. So what is happening right now is that Jean-Pierre has exposed himself to you. And he is falling down from the pedestal that you've put him on. And with that, it's shifting and changing your literal foundations, your foundation of what you thought relationship was like, and what you thought your relationship with him was like, has been completely flipped on its head. And it's like, how the fuck do I reconcile that? And so this is part of what's going on right now, of just undoing. This is kind of like the way that this card is coming through at the moment is that it's sort of like a mixture of the Tower card, if you know that, where the foundations of stuff is crumbling. But this is more about not putting men or partners or anybody on a pedestal. It's time. This is one of the activations. This is one of your pain points, if you like, because underneath our cloaks of grandeur, we're all the same. We might have different body parts, but we all have red blood running in our veins, and there is nothing there that is greater than you. Okay, so that's what we've got with that one. We got the next one, which is the 5 of Swords. It is once again reversed. So sword energy is air energy, and air energy is your intellect, if I remember correctly. And right now you're feeling very alone, and there's a lot of this element here of like feeling, what is that word, please bring that through, feeling like you have to like you're the word that they're giving me is the martyr. There's a martyrish energy to this of like, I get to keep all of this because you hurt me so bad. I get to keep my anger and resentment because you hurt me. It's time to drop your swords. It's time to let the pain go. This is part of your healing. It is, and see, even Buddy agrees. So it is time. It is time to get out of your head. It's time to come back to your heart. It's time for you to start looking to the people around you who are actually there to support you and not hurt you. If you look at this card, if I put it up the right way, there's 2 people in the background, and they're like, we're not dealing with this anymore. We're not going to fight you anymore. We will walk away and leave you whole before we'll actually fight you. But what's happening here is that you are very much still in the fight right now. So this is what I mean. You're the healing, and oh my God, my healing bar on my left-hand side is now gone absolutely bonkers. So like, you've got to do some deep healing with your feminine side, my love. And so this is what this relationship is giving you. It's giving you an excellent moment, such a huge gift to heal and integrate and rebalance your feminine and your masculine side and learn what that is for you. And along with that, it's about letting go of all those distractor implants, the anger, the rage, the fury, the resentment, the grief, the sadness, all of that stuff. Okay. The next thing that is happening right now is this card here. This gives me a lot of encouragement for you. So your team has told you the real heavy truth, right, of where you're at with this, what this interaction is giving you, and what they're asking you to do, or encouraging you to do, or at least giving you the information of what will help you. This next card is pretty cool. It's the 3 of Cups. This is the sign that it's time for you to reach out to your women tribe. If you don't really have any close women friends right now, that you can see on a semi-regular basis, face-to-face, find them. If you used to have some, reach out. Your women tribe is what is going to help you through this next space. If you are not involved in any groups, like, energetic healing groups or spiritual groups or anything like that, find some. Maybe it is a moment of going out in nature, going for walks, find a walking group, join up with something. But you have to connect with your women tribe, and they will help steady your emotional journey. The cups is about water, and water is about emotions, right? So if you connect in and like with just 2 other women, the power of 3 women together is so fucking potent and powerful. And it's not about sitting there grumbling and bitching about your lives. It's about looking at what is possible. So if you do know some kind of healing modality or something like that, and you can go along to a healing swap, do it. Okay. This is going to be really super duper valuable for you moving forward. When I was on my after the end of my second marriage, that was when I really got into doing my energy healing work. I got into learning more about it. And since then, I've added multiple modalities to my toolkit. And I'm so grateful for that. So you said, I have a ladies group I created here in the state that I moved to. We do meet up on occasions, but I hurt my ankle golfing, so I've been stuck. Have you? Or are you using that as a reason to detach? Because if you're actually truly being honest with yourself, come hell or high water, you would still go. You would still have those meetings. And I say that with love. There are days when, like, I have a group that, like, my craft class that I get to go to. It's not spiritual at all, but it is one of those points in my life that has been there for, gosh, more than 10 years now. And I can be absolutely fucking exhausted. I can be running on like 4 hours sleep, have had a full 12-hour day at work between home to home. And I will still fucking go to craft class because it is a group of women that love and accept me just the way I am. Whether I show up as a bright, bubbly, like, hey, or as like a super quiet, like I'm just reserving my energy just a little bit so I can actually drive home safely. All right. Which ankle is it? The 5th card is the 9 of Pentacles. Dear lovely Earth card. And it is upside down. So if I was to ask the question of, in a 5-card spread, and this was the result of, should or truth, what will it create if Alex is with John Pierre? There's 5 upside down cards, which means it's a no. It's a no as far as the cards goes. All right. What this is, that doesn't surprise me that it's your left ankle. Do you know why? Because your left ankle is related to your feminine side. Okay. Your left-hand side is your lady side. Left for ladies. All right. So when we're out of balance with our feminine and it's not activating properly and it is being neglected, we will have a lot of issues on our left-hand side. We will have random bruises. We will have cuts. We have grazes. We will have sore ankles. We will have all that sort of stuff, right? So it doesn't surprise me that's your left side. Your masculine side's too big at the moment. It's not allowing you, and you're not allowing you to rebalance because you're holding on to this anger and rage and grief and resentment and stuff, right? Your feminine side is crying right now, like the dog is. The pentacles, all right, and it's upside down. So you'll be suffering financially right now too. That's what this is creating for you. If you don't do the healing, if you don't let go of this pain, your financials are going to continue to be hard. Okay? You're not thriving in the same way. It's like you're throwing good money after bad. It just doesn't seem to be going far. Okay? And that's what that shows me. Let me have a look just quickly in Inner Sagal for you. Okay. So ankles, as far as Inner Sagal goes, the secret language of your body, I highly recommend you all get one. Get this book. I don't get any commissions from it, but get the book. All right? Not sponsored or affiliated. I feel silly saying that, but it's true. This book I recommend from my own personal experience. I have literally healed precancerous cells in my cervix thanks to this book. And I have the medical proof. All right? So ankles. The general meaning of ankles is feeling weighed down by too much responsibility, overcommitting yourself and feeling like you have chains around your ankles, feeling trapped in a destructive relationship, friendship, job, or situation that you don't know how to leave, thinking you have no choice, an inability to trust, step forward and embrace your dreams for fear of making mistakes, wanting to be right, feeling off balance, and not knowing what step to take next. All right. The left ankle specifically is difficulty tuning into yourself and listening to your own counsel. Belief that you have to be a slave to others, especially your children, your partner, or your work, and not spending enough time nurturing yourself and discovering what is important to you, which is all your feminine stuff. Thank you very much. You're welcome. Let us have a look at your yummy card. I'm glad you find me funny, Nicole. I'm not sure that Alex is finding me very funny right now. I can only read what the cards show me and what your team is asking me. Oh, what a surprise. Your yummy card is healing. All right. So this is an absolute gift. This time, Alex, is an absolute gift for you to heal. And if you take it and go, right. Often when we have a body injury and it's something like that, it's to make you fucking stop and pay attention and do the fucking healing. Whenever I've had vertigo twice in my life, it was brought on by supposedly middle ear infections. Both times it was because I was so busy being busy, I was not paying attention to my healing. And it wasn't until much later that I realized what was going on. But basically, when I had vertigo, I was bedridden for about 8 days. I had to crawl along the floor for the first 4 days just to get to the toilet because my whole world was like my eyesight was spinning My head was spinning. My balance was completely off and I would fall over. So I couldn't cook. I couldn't do anything. I could barely stand up to have a shower. I would be vomiting. And so I couldn't look at anything. I couldn't watch TV. And I didn't have Audible or anything back in those days. I couldn't watch anything on YouTube. For the first one, that didn't even exist. So all I could do, I couldn't read a book, nothing. The only thing I could do was listen to music. But even then, that was tricky, because how do you listen to music when, the only thing you have really access to is from your bedside, maybe a radio, especially the first one. I basically had to sleep. I could lie there, I could sleep, and that was about it. Like I said, I was so busy being busy. I was busy being a wife. I was busy being an employee. I was busy keeping the house in order, like pedantically control freak in order. I was running my life. I was running my partner's lives. Everything. I was, in the first time round, I was also trying to run my family's life, which is completely ridiculous. So my body made me stop. Made me stop for more than a week. And the first time round, I couldn't go back to work for 2 weeks. I couldn't drive for 3. Because every time I turned my head, it was like my brain went swishing around in my head. And you can't drive when you're like that. So you mentioned a whole bunch of things, like activities that you used to do or have been loving to do until you hurt your ankle. Have a look at why. Why has your body asked you to stop? It's time to heal. It's time to heal your energetic stuff. It's time to do things like relationship release. It's time to do a little bit of inner child work or a lot of inner child work. It's time to look at why you choose what you've been choosing. It's time to look at rebalancing your feminine side with your masculine. Highly recommend getting Ina's book so that can gently nourish you towards that. It's about what sort of things could you do to nourish your body even though you've got a sore ankle? How can you treat your body with love and kindness instead of judging it and making yourself feel like shit? What if you actually showed yourself some love for a change? What if you loved you? And stop waiting for somebody else to love you. Okay. It's not always easy to hear this stuff, and I get it. And we choose interesting things for ourselves. But the cool thing is, the most exciting part about this is your team and your body are showing you exactly what you require to do, and it's up to you to choose it. As Nicole said, your body knows you and only you. Mm-hmm. It's up to you whether you listen or not. If you want things to stay just as they are, don't listen. Don't do the healing. Keep sending yourself around and around and around in the hamster wheel. Your finances will be crappy. You'll feel rubbish about yourself. You'll keep getting injured. But if you do have that courage. Man, there's so much better waiting for you. So much better. This is a beautiful bouncing point for you. It's like, the only way from here is up. Okay? Sending you lots and lots of love, Alex. And I pray and hope that you choose more for you. Okay? Now, I know Juanita has decided to go to bed, so I'm going to hold her donation, her very kind donation. Before I do that, thank you, Alex, for your donation. You are literally keeping Find You Fridays running, and I am so fucking grateful for that. And I really, really appreciate your time and the fact that you put your donation in nice and early today, and it's so beautiful to be connected to you. And like, there is so much potency and power within you, and I'm excitedly awaiting your blossom. Yeah. All righty. So thank you. So Juanita has stepped out. She's gone to bed. That's fine. I'll hang on to hers till the next time she's on, which means we jump down to Christine. Okay. Cool bananas. And I see Christine. Interesting question, Christine. Just before I do that, back up to what Melinda said about attached. So if any of you are out there having issues with, like, if you really sort of step back from all of your relationships and you go, why do I keep choosing the same thing? Why do I keep choosing the same kind of people all the time? Like, what the fuck is that all about? This book will really help you. The other one that can really, really help too is this oldie but a goodie, The 5 Love Languages. These two together give you so much insight. And I actually saw a reel or a short or something this week around the 5 love languages. And it said that whatever you missed out on as a child will often become your dominant love language. So if you never received any praise or encouragement for the work that you, or the projects or the things that you created or whatever, words of affirmation will become really, really strong for you as one of your main love languages. If you never received very much physical touch as a child, not like cuddles and things like that, then physical touch will become your love language. If you didn't receive very many gifts as a child, and gifts as in gifts, or it's like you just had Christmases with nothing, or your birthdays you had nothing because too poor or whatever, then, you know, obviously gift giving is going to become your main love language. So basically, whatever area you had the most neglect in, the most gaps in, will become your love language. So you add that and that together, bam, you learn so much about yourself. So interestingly, when I did that test, my initial thoughts was, oh, acts of service, that's my love language. No, it's actually not. I had a huge amount of feeling when I grew up. I was valued for my hard work, as in my ability to be of service to my family? Was it also a little bit narcissistic in the way it was done? Yes, absolutely. But by certain other members of my family, like my granddad and stuff, I had, it was valued. My physical effort was valued. And so while I feel good about having and receiving acts of service, my actual love language, and it's the top two, I have two equal, is actually quality time and physical touch. Those are my top two. Quality time, it's not about how much time I spend with someone. It's about it being deep and meaningful. And it's like I might only get a chance to be deep and meaningful with some of my friends once or twice a year in person, like when we sit down, we have a meal and a conversation or a cup of tea, and it feeds my heart. It fills me up and makes me feel so good. And you know, those words of affirmation, like when somebody sits down and writes, like there's one of my friends who's so brilliant at it. She sits down and she just writes the most beautiful things. And as like when somebody's had a death or a relationship ending or anything like that, even in celebration, she just says the most beautiful things that just makes me want to cry every single time. And I'm just like, again, when it comes from the heart, it really fills me up and makes me feel so good and so appreciated. So those are my top two. I'm curious to know, what are your guys' love languages? What do you think they are? And with that other information that I've just given you around what did your childhood look like, what do you think they are? What are your love languages? So remembering, of course, you've got, let me just double check I don't miss any. So we've got words of affirmation, quality time, receiving gifts, acts of service, and physical touch. All right? Mm-hmm. Where are you? Thank you. Christine, my dear. Thank you for joining us. I love it. Love it. Okay. Show me Mo. Thank you. All right. So truth. What will it create in 1,000 years if Christine engages with people today? All right. Yeah, gift giving is like one of my lowest. I'm not good at it. And receiving gifts, like I'm not great at giving gifts, although because I know it is one of my lowest ones, I try my best to be thoughtful with my gifts if I do give any. But I go through a lot of like, what do you say, gift anxiety of going, but what if they don't like it? What if they don't? So for my craft class ladies, what I ended up doing was creating gift bags for them from a New Zealand calendar that I've had with me that I brought over from New Zealand. So It's actually a 2010 calendar, but it's this massive calendar with the pictures that are like this. So it was beautiful, perfect to be able to create these little gift bags. And then I took some inspiration from my tea advent calendar, and I created little envelopes, like blind envelopes, and I created 7 for every single person. And then I put 7 different teas in those blind envelopes. And then I wrapped those up with a ribbon. And then I picked up some decorative teaspoons. They have like engraving and stuff in the spoon part, and they're so freaking pretty. And I was like, yeah, because I love things that look pretty. So like I love detail. I love detail stuff. That's why old architecture really, really, like, I guess turns me on. It's this like, yes, that. So I got them each one of those teaspoons. I picked colors of like a metallic pen that is like similar to their favorite color. And I put that with the teaspoon and wrapped that up in tissue paper with a nice little ribbon. And then I also got a book, like a book of different types of puzzles. And there's like 10 different types of puzzles in this book. And were like word searches and Sudokus and word finders and all sorts, and crosswords and things like that. And I put them all together and then put that and gave them, like, put a ribbon around the parcel thingy, the bag, the gift bag. That to me was like, I gave them an experience, and I like gifting for practicality, but also experiences, so that they can move forward with this thing and go, oh, so every time they have, like, over the next week or so, they can have like a moment where they're sitting there and actually, because these women are all very, very busy ladies. And I'm like, how cool would it be if they could be reminded to have a different tea every day and sit down, have a cup of tea, do a little word search or something, and just take a moment for themselves for a whole week. Like, how cool would that be? And I thought, if I received that kind of gift, I'd be like, wow, this is so super cool. So, yeah. Amanda says, gifts are hard for me. They were more of an apology of sorts for me growing up, if that makes sense. Please forgive me more than anything else. Well, that's how I felt at the time as a child growing up anyway. Yeah, I can see that. So it's like when we receive gifts without obligation or strings attached, it feels so weird. It's like, ours was very much more of a obligation, sort of, I scratch your back, you'll scratch mine type thing. That was very common with my family. Anyway, back to Christine. So the yes is forwards, no is side to side. Okay, cool, you can see that. So truth, Christine, what will it create if you go in 1,000 years if you engage with people today? And that's a yes. Truth, what will it create in 1,000 years if Christine does not engage with people today? And that's a big fat no. So that's how to work with those questions, right? so big a no. I know that there's must be something in your world that's making you go, oh my fucking God, do I have to? Seriously, I don't really want to. there's something in this for you. There's a reason why you have to go out and engage with people today. You might not be able to see it just yet, but it's there. Let's see if there's anything else that was just to come through for you. Maybe not. Maybe the dog. I wonder why he's howling. All right. So, Christine, Mary Magdalene has come forward and she's asked for you to see the card of simple gifts and appreciation, which is number 18. So let's just see if there's anything else to be uncovered with that. So it says, keep your professional and personal hopes in mind, but be satisfied with available realities for the moment. Take a step back and be grateful for the gifts in your life right now. Other choices and directions will surface soon. And then right at the end, when engaged in sweet, simple tasks in life, your mind is free to wonder, and imagine. This quiet space restores the spirit and is the revitalizing nourishment you require to keep moving forward in difficult times. The ability to extract happiness from everyday activities is a gift in itself. So what I'm seeing for you, my dear, is that there's going to be some interesting happy moments that are actually going to be brought to the front for you if you go out and do these things. Whatever it is that you've been asked to do today, however you've been asked to engage in your life today, everything is saying yes to it. Okay. Sometimes we just need the push to get out and just do stuff, you know? And that's like, sometimes feels like the worst thing in the world, but once you're out and enjoying it, like out and doing the thing, you actually enjoy it. And it brings through some interesting contributions that you weren't expecting. So thank you, Christine, for your kind donation. I really do appreciate it. You are helping to keep Find You Fridays alive and having me continue to keep paying the bills to keep the lights on, literally. So I appreciate it very much. Thank you, Christine. Now, over to the chat where we see Nicole has just found out that her mum's brother has passed away. So her uncle has passed away yesterday, and she just got told just before. So Nicole, our heart and thoughts are going out to you and your guys' family. It's always a bit, if you weren't expecting it, it can be quite shocking. Can be a bit of like a full shock to the system. It's like the mind and the body kind of go, often a bit of freeze comes in before the other emotions can come through, the other grief things can come through. Given that he's only just newly transitioned, I don't think I'll be able to get in touch with him because he's too fresh. Quite often what happens in these situations is when somebody passes, they like kind of go into a holding space. And in that holding space, it's kind of like they're just allowing their spirit to catch up, their being to catch up on the fact they no longer have a body to run around with. And it can take a little while for that to happen. Sometimes it happens really quick. It might happen within a couple of weeks. Sometimes it takes a few months. But given that just happened yesterday, he won't be ready to talk just yet. So I'm sending you loads and loads and loads of love, sending you some Reiki energies during this time of transition for you all. One of the things that might happen is he may come and visit you over this next 24 to 48 hours. So even though they kind of go into holding zone, sometimes they'll go and visit before they carry on. So if you find that you have a dream tonight, or you feel like there's a presence, his presence is with you tonight, don't be surprised. He's passed away in shadow period of the full moon, so he might still be able to interact with you with a bit more ease. So just be open in your heart space with him. Don't be freaked out if he happens to come through for you, and it's likely that he'll be just there to give you some love and oh honey, yeah, I had the feeling that he'd taken the permanent solution, and I'm sorry, I really truly am. When you've been in that space, like I could after I was 18, 19, and I had my very, very planned close call, and I was energetically stopped by my team. I was out away at uni when all of that happened, and I went home on the school holidays, and I said to my mum, in that moment of vulnerability, of wishing to talk with my mother about where I was at emotionally, knowing I was so fucking fragile at that time. And I said to her, Mum, just curious, like we were sitting in the car. I said to her, just curious, what's your thoughts on suicide? And she goes, people who choose suicide are, what words did she use? Pathetic and weak. And it absolutely broke my heart, because I knew in that moment there was no way in hell I could talk to her about how I was feeling. She was my only parent at that time. My dad and I were estranged, and it felt like my foundation was completely gone. Like I couldn't, how can you talk to someone about how you're feeling when you know that they're coming to the table thinking that you're pathetic and weak? And I held on to that grief for a really long time. To know what it's like to be at the bottom of that tunnel that very, very fucking dark tunnel when you can't see your way out. And knowing or feeling like you're completely, totally, and utterly alone, and that nobody can relate to you. It's scary. And quite often what happens when people choose that permanent solution, they're actually doing it because they don't want to be a burden on anybody else. They don't want to cause anybody else pain. They don't want to create, there's a thing of, they think, like, I know for me, and I've spoken to a few others that have felt the same as this, who have gone on to not make that permanent situation, that permanent choice. They all agree that they just want everybody else to be happy, and they can't see that everybody else is happy with them being around. And it fucking sucks. Because while they are in so much pain on the inside, they might be showing the world that they are not. They might have their lovely masks of being bright and bubbly and all the rest of it. The joke of the town, the larrikin, if you like. But inside they're just broken and they're hurting. And they're often really super disconnected from the parts and pieces of themselves. So it does get better. It takes a while. It takes a lot of fucking healing. And quite often the ones who are feeling like that are the ones with the greatest amount of empathy for everybody else around them. They feel everybody else's pain. They feel everybody else's anger. They feel everybody else's grief and resentment and all the things. And they don't know what the fuck to do with it because we're not taught how to handle that stuff. So we take it on and we embody it as our own, and it's not even ours. And that's the crappy part about it. By the time that you realize that it's not yours, it's too late. And this whole conversation right now is one of the many reasons why I continue to choose to be an energetic healer. Why I continue to choose to be in this podcast. Why I continue to choose to be here with you all, because it is my greatest wish that these tools and the awareness of what is actually true for you is able to come out, so you have a chance, the people who tune in have a chance to actually know these things, these elements, these tools, these conversations that I didn't get to have when I was 18 or 27 or 35. And I hope I'm helping someone somewhere. To encourage them to choose them and to realize what a fucking gift you are to the world. Because you are. Truly, the world is a less beautiful place because your Uncle Mark is no longer here. Your Nan and Pop had 12 kids. That's almost as awesome as my great-grandmother, who was one of 6 sets of twins. And they also had a couple of spares singles thrown in there as well. So it was like 12, 13, 14 kids. They were busy people back in those days. So yeah, don't be surprised if he does pop through. And if he does, okay, I would really highly encourage you to send him just so much love. Like, bring in the unconditional love from all around you. Send it from your heart to his heart. Help fill him up with unconditional love so that he doesn't get stuck here. Because that's one of the hazards of choosing suicide, is that you can actually get stuck. And so it's like, encourage him to go to the light. If he does pop through to you, encourage him to go. It's okay. He's still loved. He's really loved. And just let him know that his job here is done now. And as much as everybody would probably like to go, but and want to hold on to him, let him go. It's the greatest gift you can give him now. Okay. So, that was a bit of a big conversation. So, my deepest love to you, your family, to your Uncle Mark. Bless your sweet souls. Regardless of what he's chosen, he finally chose something for him, even though it was more than likely to ease the burden on everybody else in his viewpoint. Okay. They also had other kids on top of their 12 kids. There were 38 all up. Wow. Did they adopt or foster? Is that what that's all about? Because that's a lot of children. Alrighty. I am going to, let's do our gratitude poetry book. So before we do that, we're going to expand out. Okay? So take a big deep breath in, close your eyes. And breathing out. Nice big deep belly breath as you bring Mother Earth energy all the way out through your body. And as you breathe out, bring Mother Earth, Father Sky energy all the way down. Bring Mother Earth and the unconditional love all the way up as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, bringing Father Sky and the gratitude for everything and everyone all the way down. Now taking your awareness and expanding that out beyond your body in a big bubble with you in the center. Expanding out your awareness beyond the building that you're in, beyond the country that you're in, beyond the planet. Expanding out your awareness beyond the solar system, beyond the galaxies, beyond the universes. Beautiful. And now grabbing your sense of allowance and expanding that out in a big bubble up into the sky and down into the earth. expanding out your allowance beyond the size of the building that you're in, beyond the size of the planet, expanding out your allowance beyond the solar system. That lovely big bubble. Keep expanding out your allowance beyond the size of the universes. Now expanding out your allowance greater than your awareness. Beautiful. So now I'd like you to pick the first number that pops into your head that is going to create the most for you for this next week. The first number between 1 and 88, including 1 and 88. Truth, what number is going to create the most for you? Please put that in the chat below. Now we're going to try something with Buddy, because as you guys can hear, he's doing that funny little barky howly thing. So I'm actually going to open up the door. I wouldn't normally do that because it's it puts some funny light in here, but let's see if that helps him. If he can see me, maybe I'll be able to do the meditation with you. If he continues to howl, then I won't be able to do the meditation because it's too distracting. So just give me a moment and keep putting your numbers for those of you who have just done that. I know there's a few of you there, so that's okay. So put your number between 1 and 88. Okay. All right. Let's see if that helps him to just fiddle that little bit. Okie dokie. Buddy, in more recent, probably in the last 6 to 8 months, 6 months more so, he's old. He's 16, which is like 84 in human years, or dog years. So he's losing his eyesight. He's got cataracts. He's losing his hearing. He's so he hears things that aren't there. It's probably just his breathing. And he's also losing his marbles slightly, and he gets lost sometimes in the hallway, or he'll forget where he's supposed to be going. He'll, if he gets interrupted in the middle of eating, he'll forget to go back to his food. So no, he's definitely not a puppy. He's a big personality. He's a Chihuahua Jack Russell cross, and he's 16. So he's very much in his old age years. And when on a Friday, if Alex has come home and fluttered around, had some food, whatever, and then gone out, he'll do this. But if he can, and if he can hear me, he tends to kind of go, I can't see you. I can't figure out where you are. What is going on? During the day, though, when Alex is not home and I'm here and I'm doing sessions and all the rest of it, Buddy doesn't care. He's so sweet. He's very calm. But when Alex has been home, he suffers a bit of separation anxiety these days, in the evening time, if he doesn't know where Alex is. So that's part of why Alex can't really travel right now. And it's difficult for him to get a night away or anything like that. So, So, yeah, he can do the meditation. That's absolutely fine. 25 for Christine. Because what I've noticed in the past is when I've stopped the podcast to be able to, because he's howling, and I hate to hear him howling like that. As soon as I go out there, he stops. As soon as I open up the door and I walk down the hallway, he completely stops howling. So I'm like, maybe if we just have the door open for this point, he might feel a bit more soothed and calm. All right. 25 for Christine, the aftermath. Your hot breath upon my neck tells me I'm not the only one enjoying this moment. Your arms caressing, our legs entwined, your body beside me sharing the warmth that we've just created. Peace, harmony, and pleasure. I look at you and whisper, I love you. So I actually don't get that this for you necessarily, Christine, is about you having a hot and heavy sexy moment. What words actually stuck out for me and phrases that stuck out for me is about enjoying the moment and the pleasure and I love you. So it's like whatever is going on for you, like particularly this next week, I get that if you just enjoy the moment of being with those that you love and really soak that into your soul and your cells, and like have this as a week where you're creating memories of interacting with people that you really enjoy and who you love and who love you. So if you haven't got any plans to hang out with any of your dear friends, highly encourage you to do that this week. Thank you so much for playing, Christine. Appreciate you so very much. Melinda, 52. Six. Bodies wet, breath hot, eyes glazed, embraces strong, legs entwined, lips together, tongues exploring, minds treasuring, and souls connecting. Melinda. Interestingly, it's like the poem actually wishes to be only half of the words. So it's like strong, entwined together, exploring, treasuring, connecting. I get this week is going to be about you really embracing how strong you are and like working together as your team with your friends as well as your workmates. And it's also about treasuring that connection with the people who are allowing you and encouraging you to be strong. And I don't mean strong. I just mean strong in character, strong in personality, strong in your skills and your talents and your gifts. I get that there's a lot of stuff that's going to be coming up for you this week where you're going to be really super encouraged to just be you. And that is so fucking delicious, which is why it's come through in this poem. So congratulations, my dear. And golly gosh, if it does happen to roll around into sex, oh, good on ya. That's pretty amazing. All right. Nicole. Okay, darling, you got Amaranthium, which is actually, it's an imaginary flower that never fades. Okay. As we fall together, looking into each other's eyes, arms wrapped around, touching and feeling, memorizing. This is a time when nothing matters, not war, hunger, or sadness. Our love is all that counts for all too short a time, and so the longing returns, and the smiles remain, and the love is eternal. So this is obviously we are aware of where you're at heart-wise at the moment. And what I'm seeing here is this is a poem about remembering the good stuff. Remembering the good stuff about your uncle and holding on to those memories more than the pain of the loss. Okay, so the love is really truly what counts here. And if you happen to feel that he's around you, that's a beautiful thing, and that's good. That's a good thing, because he's looking to you for reassurance that it's okay to move on. Okay, so as I said, Amaranthian, very cool. Thank you for choosing. Number 12 for Amanda. Oh, Amanda, given what you were saying before about the driving, this doesn't surprise me. Frightened. Frightened of life, frightened of people, frightened of decisions, but most of all, frightened of letting down the barriers. The barriers of the heart, ones that have been there for an eternity. Life has challenges, and where someone or something comes along and begins to break the barriers, and with no control, it's the most frightening thing known. So for you, my sweet, beautiful one, you're already well on your way to uncovering these moments where you're kind of like, that scares the living bejesus out of me. But it's okay. This is a moment. This isn't a poem to say, I'm seeing you're frightened. I'm seeing your nervousness. I'm acknowledging that. But at the same time, I'm also saying it's okay to let that go. And it's okay to trust. It's okay to trust your beautiful partner who is on this journey with you. And it's okay to express that too. It's okay to let him know, but like, do it later. Do it, when you're sitting around the campfire or the whatever, if it's fire band season, which it is at the moment, when you're sitting down having after you've set up camp and all of that, and you're just relaxing for the evening with your bevy or a cup of tea or whatever, and just say, hey, today I was feeling really nervous and scared or whatever, and it allowed me a moment of reflection of the fact that I felt like I had no control, and it's a bit scary for me. So just wanted to let you know that's where I'm at right now. And it doesn't, when you do it later, it makes it not as confronting, and it's like it'll be very hard for him to say, I'm like that you were making him wrong. It's taking responsibility for your own stuff, which is a beautiful thing. Let me see if I can gather Buddy up. Just a moment. So if you want to meet Buddy, we'll see how we go. Let me see which one's longer. All right, let me show you this and we'll see how we go with Buddy. And here we go. Here is Buddy. He's all a bit funky. We don't often have huggy moments. The last time we had a muggy moment was when he all of a sudden decided that the postman was a bad person. And he went running out the door after the postman. So here's Buddy. We say, hi, Buddy. Hey, you're just such a little big personality, aren't you? Hey, I know. Right, I'm still here. Yeah, I know. I know you miss Alex. But it's okay. Do you want to sit with me for a bit? All right. He often doesn't hug for very long. So I had a funny conversation with somebody this week who was like, is Buddy like a Staffy or it's like a big sized dog? And I'm like, mm-mm. He's like a Jack Russell Chihuahua cross. And they're like, what? No way. He's just got such a big personality. He was like, yeah, he does. He has a very big personality for a very little dog. Hey, I know. I can feel that. It's okay. We're just sending you lots of loves. We are. We're sending you lots and lots and loves. Right? So everybody's saying hello. They say, hi, Buddy. They're calling you cute. He's a big little boy. All right. Seeing as you're going to stay with me for a little bit, let's do some more of these readings. All right? Until you decide to get going. Okay? Let's have a look. You joined Alex on this team meeting the other day, didn't you? Because you're pretty cool. All right. Let's see how we go. All right, Catherine, you chose 63, which is you and me. We are united, you and me. Not always happy, you and me. But we sure do try, you and me. I'm so sad when we're apart, you and me. Don't quite know what to do without you and me. Love isn't always easy with you and me. Other things interfere with you and me. Just wish we could be just you and me. Living peacefully, you and me. Loving each other, you and me. Eternally, just you and me. Oh, so Catherine, I get the sense that you are in that space of kind of wishing to have a bit of that companionship in your life. And I'm curious, this seems to be a moment of there's an ache to this one for you. So is it time to reach out to someone and like a friend and just have that little catch up moment? So it's like those like a deeper, meaningful conversation, even if it's just over the phone. Is there someone that you're missing a lot that maybe you haven't had a chance to catch up with for a while? I get the sense that that's what that one is for you. So sometime this week, see who pops into your mind. And if you've had a little bit of a wobble with them or something in the past, maybe a few months, like maybe this is the time to let go of that crunchy wobble and let yourself and then have a bit more of an easy Christmas together. Yeah, he's a good boy. His breathing is slowing, so that's good. Okay. Because we don't do a lot of huggy time, when we do it, it takes him a little moment to just settle down. Hey, you're doing really well. Yeah, you are. Oh, big shift of energy. Good boy. Yeah. I think that was the last one. Beautiful. Cool. there we go. All right. So Nicole says that her mum's friend's got one of those dogs. My mum's friend is a cop. Wow. And it bites me. So it did so call it a cop dog. So Buddy has almost no teeth. And he used to have a couple of snaggle teeth, so he would have them sticking out the side and this side of his mouth, but this year he's lost them both. And because he's so old, they're just sort of like, he has got a bit of gum disease stuff going on, and like he'll just lose teeth, and it's just what's going to happen for him. Hey, what do you reckon? Yeah, that's you. That's you up there. I know. Because you're pretty amazing. And you're so good at protecting Alex. Yes, you are. Even though that means you bark at me. Yeah. He likes getting scratches from me when he allows me to do it, because I've got nails. Alex doesn't have like long nails, so he does quite like getting scratches from me. You're doing such a good job. Did you want to stay for the meditation, or are you okay? Did you want to stay for the meditation now? You want to go? You want to go? All right. 2 seconds. Okay. Good boy. Oh dear. He's gone walking away with his tail high, and he's like, oh, okay, I'm good now. Thank you, guys. That was very, very unexpected, but very cool. So Buddy and I have had a very interesting relationship since I moved in. And he's like, we've been living together now for about 1.5 years, roughly. Not that long, just over a year. And and he has taught me a lot about patience. He has reminded me that it's okay to be big and bolshy, but at the same time, when someone else is being big and bolshy, it's actually more of an advantage for me to be calm. But there are still moments when, like when he's really on a roll and he's just barking and barking and barking and barking, that it's actually okay to give like a little, like a clap. I won't do it really loud because it's a bit rough on you guys' ears, so I won't do that to you. But it's like a clap, and then it's like enough. And so he's reminded me about boundaries. He was, along with Alex, was one of the really big reasons why I chose to do some Reiki, like to do my level 1 and 2s in Reiki. He has given me a lot of awarenesses around past life interactions and how they can play out in this lifetime, even though he's a dog now. It's just so fascinating. And I've had moments with, like, my second husband had a dog, and Seth was he was an amazing dog. He was a bloody big bullfed though. But we shared something really special. Once we got to that point of going, yeah, here's our boundaries and we're good with that, then there was just this beautiful love and respect. And Buddy is It's funnily the same, but the relationship between Buddy and Alex is way different to the relationship that my second husband had with his dog. So yeah, hopefully now he'll settle and be happy and calm, and just so thank you. Thank you for being there for us for that. All right, so let us do the meditation now. We've all expanded out. We've expanded out our awareness out beyond the universes. We've expanded out our allowance beyond that. And for those of you who are just joining, you've just done it too. Well done. Congratulations. Let me have a quick look at that reading again. All right, cool. So this meditation is going to be about soothing your inner child, and allowing them to know that it's okay to take a chance. All right. So let's close our eyes, take a big deep breath in, and relaxing our bodies, take a big deep breath out. Beautiful. I think for this one, we're actually going to go up to the theta healing plane to do this little exercise, this little wee healing. So now imagine that there is a big, beautiful opalescent light shining into your heart, moving down your legs into Mother Earth, curling around the center of Mother Earth and moving all the way back up. As it gathers any crystalline energies that are required for your session, for this lovely little healing today, moving up through your body, through your belly, and all the way up through your chest, through your head, where it creates a big, massive bubble above your head. Big enough for you to go inside that bubble. And now the bubble goes up and floats up higher and higher away from where you are now. Up through the golden light, up through the dark light, up through the rainbow jelly light clouds, up through the pink misty clouds, through this big, big opening where the bright white opalescent light is streaming through. As you breathe in, that beautiful bright white light completely surrounds you. Might feel like you're standing underneath the sun, and the sun's warm rays of unconditional love are shining down all over you. Breathing in, and as you breathe out, the bubble around you dissolves. Breathing in, and as you breathe in, unconditional love is now coming through every cell and molecule of your body with your inwards breath. And as you breathe out, any energies that you're already ready and willing to let go of, any pain, shock, trauma, or heartache that is ready to go, will leave your body now on every outwards breath for all the time that we are here up in this plane. The unconditional love that is around you right now is exactly that. It has no rules, no boundaries, no obligations. It is there unconditionally. It has no perspective or point of view on what you have been in the past, nor what you will be in the future. It is just there to love and support and help you heal. You can literally have instantaneous healing up here in the 7th plane, if you choose it. It is absolutely possible. And now I'd like you to think of a situation where you feel afraid or out of control. It may be showing up as anger or sadness, anxiety, or anxiousness, if you prefer. It may be showing up as moments where you are shutting down and freezing. Or maybe you're fawning. Maybe you're in fight or flight. Now that everybody has one of those moments in mind, think about the first time that energy, that feeling ever popped up in your world. And you may be a little baby. You might be in primary school age. You may even be in early high school. Whatever age that energy, that emotion popped up for you, allow the embodiment of that age to come forward. And now, as you look at the younger version of yourself, hold hands with them. And with all that unconditional love that is swirling around you both, bring it in through your heart and send it down your arms, through their arms, to their little hearts. See the stream of unconditional love that is coming into your heart, down your arms, into your little heart of the young version of yourself, going up through their heart, through to the crown, and down to their feet. And as you stand, or if you need to kneel down in front of them, depending on their ages, look them in the eyes and ask them to tell you how they're feeling. And as you gain that awareness, reassure them that everything is going to be okay. Allow them to know with all the love that you have all around you and down into your heart, to the very bottom of your heart, that you are there for them. They can trust you. And if they're feeling a little bit cautious about that, ask them to feel into their heart and send unconditional love through to you to feel your heart, to test the truth of what you're saying. And as you perceive, they soften and they're reassured. Watch as the anger, the sadness, the pain, the shock, the trauma leaves their little body. All of those energetic impacts and imprinting that has happened at such a young age is now being washed away by the unconditional love that is flowing from you down your arms, down to their little arms, through to their little hearts. And as they are willing to release more and more and more and more of the shock, trauma, and heartache, their joy comes back, their confidence comes to the fore, their delight comes forward, the childlike wonder starts to bubble up, and the absolute joyousness of life. And as all of that begins to come forward, as they are reassured over and over again that everything is going to be totally okay, that they are safe and they are loved and they are enjoyed, that beautiful bubbling up of all that incredible, lovely energy is now coming up through your arms and through to your heart and your mind, down through your belly and into your pelvis and your legs and your feet. Oh, I'd like you now to change your hand positions and bring that young version of yourself in for the biggest hug you've ever desired to receive. Feel each other's heart beating as one. And as these beautiful personalities, these big, beautiful, joyous, confident, excited personalities, remind you of how you are. And your hearts are beating as one. You begin to integrate together. So the little version of yourself is now teaching you, the adult version of you, to be confident and joyful and loving and excited about all the things, about learning new things, about seeing what is possible and creating new possibilities together. Crafting your world in your own unique way. Take a big deep breath in and allow that integration to fully complete. And breathing out. And as you breathe out, that smile on your face just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. As you remember what it was like to feel that level of just brilliance and excellence and creativity and joyousness and excitement about the new things in the world and the adventures that you're going to go on and the stories you can create, as well as the admiration of the natural world, of really stopping and looking at the flowers and seeing how the cellular structure works, how the colors interact, the gloriousness of all those beautiful cells and molecules coming together to help to create new life. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And now we'll move down from the 7th plane, down through the golden light, back to your body. You'll now stand underneath a big, beautiful crystalline waterfall, and the water is flowing over and through your body, just letting go, helping you to wash away any other little fragments of energy that you're ready to let go of today. You're now stepping out onto a big, warm river rock. You'll feel the warmth of Mother Earth underneath your feet. Take a big, deep breath in and out. Breath in, bring Mother Earth and all of her sparkly goodness all the way up through your body. And as you breathe out, bring Father Sky and all the shimmering wonder all the way down. And a big, deep breath in, the final one, bring Mother Earth and the unconditional love all the way up. And Father Sky and the gratitude for everything and everyone all the way down. When you're ready, open your eyes. Please remember to have some water, please. Hi, Paul. Get out there, do something tasty for yourself this weekend. Remember, this week to come might challenge you a little bit at the start of the week, but there's some really beautiful, exciting things to come. Some amazing connections and energetic releases. So I hope you have an absolutely wonderful, brilliant week. And a gentle reminder that next Friday I will not be here. I'll be off enjoying time with my workmates. But I will be here on Saturday. Same bat time, same bat place at 8:05 p.m. Adelaide time. So until then, be bold, be brave, be you, my beautiful friends, and I'll see you next Saturday. Bye-bye for now.